cuervo. La Asamblea Nacional, en teoría.
Lo chequearemos, ¿verdad?
Por eso ahí.
The windows. Oh. Veamos esto luego con la guía.
Bueno, pero mejor.
Eso no me explica lo que es.
Claro.
General y esperado. Vamos rapidillo.
Lo esperéis.
No sabe por qué
Come on.
Un cuervo. El Parlamento, que fue también el Parlamento de la antigua Yugoslavia.
All the magic happens. This is where everyone meets each other. Yay! We're getting
¿Eh?
No. That's nice.
Okay.
I'm not camera shy. So we're on Republic Square where all the Belgraders meet each other. They always say, let's meet by the horse. That's around here. Yeah, we met by the horse. It's not a monument for a famous horse. It's actually a monument for the guy on the horse whose name is Prince Mikhailo. He is very important for us because he released Belgrade and a few other Serbian cities from Turks after 5 centuries. Now we will talk more about that later, but he is very important for our history. No one says let's meet by Prince Mikhailo, everyone says let's meet by... Holds one ugly record, European record. This is the city which was most times under destruction anywhere in Europe. It's 40 times. So we have many layers of history where something was destroyed, someone else built something, and that's how you get those many layers. So we will go through that area. And now to tell you a bit about important buildings on this square. This is the National Museum, but it's currently not working. What does currently mean? Since 2003, yeah? That's when they started renovation. And that's when our premier at the time, he made one ball and he collected enough money for them to start renovations. And they said, oh, we're going to make just one more of these and we have enough money for everything. They started renovation and he got killed by a mob the same year. Because he was very successful, he was very European orientated, and he was very successful with fighting against corruption. Now, year 2003, just to explain a few years before, in year 2000, our regime changed. After 10 years of having very corrupted president, that president, Slobodan Milosevic, was captured in year 2000. The guy on the
Museo
board,
Nacional.
because he wanted to make Belgrade into a European city. Now,
Teatro Nacional.
We are in Europe, so why are we not European city at the time? Because we were, Belgrade was Oriental city. For most of its medieval history, Belgrade was under Ottomans, under Turks actually. So this building was first made to resemble a scale in Milan, but it was shelled in First World War, so that's what the other year, 1932, stands for. That's the year of renovation. They made it look like Opera House in Vienna. So now, if someone was in Vienna, they saw the big yellow building. It's 3 times bigger than our national theater. So when someone from Vienna comes, they say how cute that you have a little Barbie house.
Let's meet by the horse.
Do you like, Gabriel? Like
Yeah.
the guy?
Yeah, of
It's
course.
quite good.
It's really good. It's really prepared, huh?
Yeah.
Let's meet by the horse.
That's made by the horse.
Oh, you can say horse. Maybe you can do much better.
Then in 19th century, people opened small shops where they were manufacturing shoes and hats, stuff like that. But something drastic happened. In the middle of 19th century, they opened up a beer factory at the other end of the street. They were making beer out of thermal water, which was coming out of the ground. I don't know, maybe it was healthier beer than nowadays, because it was from mineral water. Anyway, it was called King Alexander beer, it was Czech beer, and everyone throughout the whole country loved it. Especially people in this street, because they always had few liters under the table. So when someone comes to buy a hat or shoes, they sell then liters of beer as well. It went so good with alcohol that they discovered that alcohol goes better than the actual products, and it pays off to convert food in it, so you think it's
Kafana.
a restaurant. Well, it's not. It's just because people on the Balkan Peninsula spend so much time drinking that eventually they have to eat. That's why we have food in a typical bar. Then you have a typical Serbian bands inside. You have a photo of band which is performing every night here. They're a typical band from North Serbia. They're with accordions and violins, something like that. And there's another type, only trumpets. They're more from North. Okay, when you hear trumpets anywhere in Serbia, stay there. You have my guarantee of fun. Okay, so you have a band. You're sitting at your table, and you have to call them to play you your favorite Serbian song. Now you have homework to find your favorite Serbian song. And it's usually about how broken-hearted you are or how drunk you got, something like that. Okay, so you call the band, they play you your song, and they play it on your ear. Now you're probably very drunk and emotional, and it's very fun at the moment, but tomorrow you don't feel one part of your brain because trumpet was playing here. Okay, so
¿Cómo se llama esta calle?
¿Hay que decirlo a la cámara?
Sí,
Esta la calle es Kadarsaka.
que es la típica de aquí, la vieja.
Antes era una calle gitana, se puso una fábrica de cerveza y ahora está lleno de cafanas, que son bares.
Los
donde
típicos
beben
aquí.
mucho.
So I told you they call this street Bohemian Quarter. That's because artists since 19th century, they come here to get inspired. They debate with each other about art until morning, and they get inspired in that way. Now they call it inspiration, we call it alcohol. Anyway, I will tell you how this all started. In 19th century, when first kafanas opened on this street, only men were going out. Gypsies, Serbs, Turks, they would all go out. And the night would always end with them fighting in the middle of the street because they're bored. There's this man going out, so they don't know what else to do, and no one actually wanted to live on this street because it was not very safe. So when they opened National Theater at Republic Square, where we saw it, the actors who were performing, they were very poor. It was not a good occupation to have at the time. And I say, oh, this rakia was made, for example, by my grandfather. You have to try it, and then you have to try it. You see, otherwise you're offending the whole Serbian family. So it's usually made out of different. You have to try it.
La bebida típica de aquí, como palinka. ¿Cómo era? Blanquia. Raskia.
And you can share it with others if you want to.
Y lo hacen ellos mismos casero.
Yeah, it's 40 to 45% of alcohol. Who tastes it, the tour will be more interesting for that person.
It's 11 in the morning.
You can undo the. Yeah.
It's really made by your grandfather?
It's made by my boyfriend. So it's someone from the family, but it's usually grandfather, great-grandfather, or something like that. Yeah, actually, when the child is born, you make one rakia,
Yes, true.
and you put it underground. You know, yeah, and then you take it when someone gets married, when the child is getting married. So
It's not 12 o'clock yet, but it's
yeah. It's very strong. I recommend you the honey rakia. That's more mild.
honey.
Yeah, this is pear, and it's the best one to try is yellow bee. Živeli.
Oh, that smile's gonna be gone.
Živeli.
It reminds me of palinka in Hungary.
Yeah. Well, all the national drinks around.
It's also
Balkans are-
homemade.
Yeah, in
it's very
Bulgaria as
useful.
well they have
Croatia
rakia.
has their own.
Yeah, there's, but it's in
¿Te gustaba esto qué
Parecida al
es?
palinka.
Rafkia?
Rakia.
Raflidia.
That's your
Rakia.
second important Serbian word, rakia.
Rakia. Ralidia.
One more thing about
Rally.
the street is that this
Yeah,
political
tell me.
spirit started to die out after Second World War, and
gusta
to
grabar?
prevent that, a very important monument. This is one of the oldest monuments and historical landmark. So in 1862, an incident occurred here. In this time in history, Serbs were no longer 100% under Turks. How can I explain that? Turks left the countryside, left the cities. They just held 6 fortifications throughout Serbia. That was their buffer if Europe tries to do something to them. So they have their military on Serbian territory, but Serbia is kind of free from them. So Serbian people were they thought this is okay, you know, we just have their military there, we are living our normal life, so it doesn't matter. But an incident occurred here when a 12-year-old boy was pouring water, and 2 Turkish soldiers came from Belgrade fortification, where their military was. They wanted to go first, they pushed him aside, and they threw the jar he was pouring water into his head. They accidentally killed an innocent boy, and now all Serbian people started to make problems. They said we don't feel safe anymore, and Turks responded with bombing city from the fortification, which was kind of radical. Now whole Serbia knew what was going on, no one felt safe anymore. So they started pressuring Prince Mihailo, the guy on the horse, to try to negotiate with Russia, with Europe, and with Turks to solve this problem. He did really. 5 years from this event, Turkish army left Serbian territory. They gave the keys of Belgrade fortification to Prince Mihailo.
In which year?
What?
In the year?
1867. Okay, so Turkish army left Serbian territory, and that's the year we count as being completely free from Turkish occupation after 5 centuries. So this smaller event triggered much bigger events. And that's why this is historical landmark. But 2 years ago, 2 guys decided they need money, so they're going to steal a monument and get money for material. They drove during the night, took the monument, took it to a factory where they sold it for 200 euros. Actually, in the morning, everyone around here saw something's wrong. They started calling police. Are they doing some renovation? What's happening? And they figured out it was stolen. So this was a really quick police intervention. That doesn't happen all the time here, that they solved the crime so quickly. But in just 2 or 3 hours, they started, you know, looking at all the factories where it could be, and they found it only a few hours later. But it was already shredded into 20 pieces, because that's the first step to make it into material again. Now some parts were missing, some were deformed, but a group of artists was working for 1 year to make it look the same again. So they did a really good job. You don't see where it was shredded or which parts were missing, and it looks exactly the same as it did. Now they caught those 2 guys, and they're facing around 5 years in prison. That's how much you get if you steal a historical monument, because it has political connotations. It looks like you have something against the whole nation, about that nation's history. So the message in this story is don't steal a historical monument. If you feel the urge to steal a monument, steal only art.
Sí, es lo que me dice mi madre. Si tiene miedo de que haga algo de robar una bandera o algo así. Y lo que ha dicho ella. Dice que por robar un monumento le caen 5 años.